guys, it's Brian here, Portable Generator Services. I take care of a lot of the food truck generator issues or do build advice for a lot of the food trucks down here. Um, if you, this person with this load calc right here had been struggling because of the size generator she would need. If you look down at the bottom, the max 103 amps, she'd need a 14,000 watt, which, okay, yeah, you can find those. They've got 15s, they've got 17.5s, they've got, but when you get into those numbers, you literally only have one inverter generator that is newly available, the 16,000 Duramax inverter. Once you get past 16, you're using a non-inverter, non-variable speed generator unless you then invest and buy a diesel, which you're going to be into the $10,000 to $15,000 for just the generator itself, and that's not including an install. Where are you installing it? Is it going to be a custom built compartment on your food truck, or are you going to tow it? So people don't realize this. We can cut this load down tremendously by doing one thing. So, let me just go over this. You have your generator, which is typically using gas. If you are not utilizing propane tanks for your build, that is your problem. So, hot water tank, 14 amps. If she were to get a propane tankless water heater, the amperage would go to about 1 amp. Steam tables. She's got 2 of them, 25 amps. If she were to utilize a propane steam table, this would go to about 2 amps. The range, 15 amp. If she were to utilize a propane range, it'd go to 1 amp. So 25, 40, 55 amps, half her load. She could basically drop her load in half by using propane appliances. A lot of RV stuff will be 120 or propane, and some of them auto switch. But the hot water, you want to go propane. Get a propane tankless hot water tank. Literally drops the amperage to like 1 because there is no electrical there. It's just the igniter, and there's going to be a little circulating pump, but it's nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. They even have refrigerators and freezers in propane, but you need to be smart about it. You can't obviously have a propane freezer only, if you've got a lot of heating sort of devices, you can get ovens propane, stovetops propane, warming steam tables propane, fryers propane. And so what you would be doing is So you'd have your generator hooked up to gas, either gasoline. For the other stuff, the big loads, you would have a propane and not an electric appliance for those. And the thing is propane, depending on the market, is more expensive than gas. But this is another thing that you would have to keep into consideration. Let's just say your range. If this is on propane, and obviously you're using this when you're cooking, when you're not cooking, you turn it off. So you're not constantly running the propane fuel. Steam tables also. You know, if you look into that sort of stuff, you can cut your load tremendously. Absolutely can cut it in half. If you've got a lot of heating or hot sort of things, like if you look at, hot water tank, it's hot, it creates heat to heat the water. The steam table, it's a warming sort of thing. It is creating heat to keep it warm. Obviously, the range is heat cooking the stuff. A pizza oven. These things can be 3,500 watts. $15 amp breaker for this. 15 amp breaker. Or you get propane, and that literally you don't even add it in the load calc, really. 54 to 7,000 watts, guys. Think about this. 5,000 watts or 7,000 watts is taken just for that. People, what's the average people usually use? A 9,500 Predator. So you have this. Let's just say we're using the 5,400 watts. You've got 4,000 watts left, 4,100 watts, and that's maxing it out, because that 9,500 is not running at 9,500. That's starting. Keep that in mind. So let's just be realistic here. Let's drop it down to 8,500 running. And you have one of these things that's set up, could be, you know what I mean? Like, this is literally the only thing your generator basically can power. Almost 2,000 watts for a little, these are all things. 3,000 watts for this little cooker. It's a double panini grill. 2 plugs, each is 1,800, so 3,500 watts for this. It's like so quickly, 4,500 watts. So quickly, that generator is under. It's just like you're struggling to find a generator that can power everything that you need it to do when you are the food truck that is grilling, cooking, baking. Tankless water heaters. A regular one, 1,400 watts, 1,500 watts for food trucks, 2,000 watts, it all depends. If you get a propane one, this is another electrical one, 3,500 watts for the water heater. There was a Oh yeah. So here's a tankless propane. This is like I think for a house though, but still it's just still showing you what I'm trying to get to. Look at the amperage requirements. Zero point 0.6 amps. The electric 3500 watts. So if you want to convert the amps to wattage, let's just do 120. 0.6 times 120. You're literally at like 3, whatever. It's so low. It doesn't even, if you have a propane appliance, you don't even really have to add it to the load calc because it's under 5 amps always, like 3 amps at the most. Keep that in mind. You can literally cut your load in half if you were to utilize propane appliances. Look at the electric range, 6,000 watts. You go propane, that goes to literally not even 500 watts. Fryers, if you're going electric, look at that, 3,400 watts, 3,600 watts. Or you go propane, that wattage, if this was propane, would say 100 watts, literally. Keep that in mind. It can really, really, really lower just your overall expense. And what I mean by that is, look, they've got propane, steam tables, and I was looking into it, you apparently need like 20 million hamsters to power your house. And so I like did the calculation. You could get away with like 5 million hamsters on some spinning hamster wheels hooked up to a alternator that produces the electrical to power a food truck. I've been looking in to see how much space I would need to have 5 million hamsters, but that is another way to get free power. Now you're just paying for the food for 5 million hamsters to power your food truck. Something to look into. I tried to see what 5 million hamsters would look like, comparison on like a football field, whatever. Nothing. I can't find it. No one's ever thought of this idea, so I figured maybe someone wants to utilize it. I don't know. Other than that, though, there are some people that do this, where they've got the generator. And the reason why I say you could do gasoline, you're going to get the dual fuel generator. Reason I'm saying not to hook propane up to the generator as the fuel source is because propane is more expensive. So if the generator's always running, put it on gas, and then have the propane for the oven, the tankless water heater, the stuff that's not always running. The tankless water heater is not always using propane. It's only when you turn the sink on that it instantly lights it and it gets it hot. Your oven, obviously, you're only using the oven when you're cooking. So, if you have any questions, let me know. If anyone is going to do the whole hamster idea, though, like, let me know. Apparently you need 5 million, and that can power your food truck. Anyways, let me know if that helps anyone. If it does, give it a like, share the video, and I've got a bunch of other random videos for food trucks, safety-wise, load calc, sizing the generator, all of that. Anyways, have a good one. I'll see you on the next one.